Oh, well, what a surprise. I'm not Joe Cook. Joe Cook will be here shortly, guys, but I'm Texas Homer, and I'm going to fill in until that day comes. All right. I'm with Justin Wells. I'm with Ian Boyd. These are my road dogs. I get to shoot with Ian, but I don't get to shoot with Justin actually on video that often, so I'm excited to do so.
We've seen each other quite a bit lately, Connor, so and I do enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure. We just don't get to be on the show together. I have to produce or whatever. All right, what's up?
Today you make me do all the talking.
Yeah, I just let you go, man. That's the goal. All right, guys.
Today is you're the get back coach.
Yeah, there we go.
I like that, Homer, the get back coach. I like that
for sure. We're going to talk about how Texas bounces back versus the Spartans, which should be a fun game. And then later on in the show, if I'm still here at that point, we will talk this week in SEC football. I bet you it's going to be a lot of Michigan OU. I can tell you that OU offensive line is in trouble. They do not look good. So that's going to be a big factor. That's interesting. But first, we've got to take our own vitamins and talk about what Texas needs to do. But you know what you need to do? You need to join InsideTexas.com. It's your number one source for recruiting news, team news, analysis, everything you love about the Texas Longhorns in one single place. You can join for just $1 for your first week, and you get a full year of access to The Athletic. Guys, isn't that an incredible deal?
It's a steal.
It is.
They're stealing from us.
Yeah, we're just giving it away.
I mean, we're getting pillaged.
Yeah, it's devastating.
I don't have any other big words.
Cool. All right, we got it in though. All right, Ian, our man, our analyst, has picked some finer points that he wants to see in the upcoming game, but really just to get Texas back on track, to know that we're still okay, is what we need to see here coming up. Ian, take us away, man. What you want to intro? Or you want to go straight into your title? I know Justin loves this title right here.
I think Texas has three big factors on the team for this season. Two are knowns for better and for worse, and one is a big unknown.
Okay.
Known. This defense is going to stuff most of the teams on the schedule.
Yeah.
Don't really need to worry about that. I still maintain I have questions about the secondary against top passing attacks, but those top passing attacks aren't on the schedule. So don't worry about it for now. Okay. This defense is going to eat. They looked awesome. Okay. 2, this run game I think it's like last year. I think this is a run game that's going to bowl over weak teams and disappear when they play top teams.
Yep.
I think that I need to see more from Baxter. I think Weisner is still the guy that if you block him up consistent gains, he is going to consistently pick them up. If you don't, he's giving you nothing, and he's not maximizing the runs that you do block. Baxter, I don't know. Gibson and Clark, I'd love to see them in this game. But probably the run game is more the same as last year. Different presentation, but same basic deal. The big unknown is Arch Manning. What are we going to get from Arch this year? Now, I titled this Arch Throw Bombs, ? Arch actually hit 3 terrific deep shots against Ohio State. That wasn't really the problem. The problem was garbage throws on the gimmies underneath. The consistent chain movers, let's get Wingo a chance to make an explosive play on the move. I want to see if Sark comes out and is like, I'm going to script up 20 easy throws for Arch in this game early and often. And I want him to get back in the saddle and throw these the way that we know he can and get his confidence up, get in rhythm, and get back on track so he can just shake off the previous week. I don't want to see them. They could probably line up in 12 personnel all day and barely throw and just control the game on the ground and get out quick.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that either. I
think Arch needs more than that, Ian.
Yeah.
That's what I think too. We all want to see get Arch back on track.
Yeah.
Rebuild the Heisman campaign. He's not going to win the Heisman. But you want Kirk Bohls to be tempted to write a clickbait headline that Arch is back on Heisman track. That's the kind of numbers you want to see in this game.
Yes.
Also, fans have short memories, man. If you're dealing by the end of the year, they tend to forget game ones.
If you're dealing by the end of 3 weeks later, they'll be more forgiving. And I think with Arch, there's going to be a consensus like, okay, that was the first big batch of bullets. This is who we know he is.
Yeah, what can you feel good about? This is what I worry about, right? Say Arch looks great the next 3 games. You still need to see it in the swamp.
100%.
And so it's like like these next 3 weeks you can get some confidence, but still going into the swamp, you're going to be like, we'll see. That's the real moment where he's going to be on the road and it's going to be a tough environment again. But that was just a strange performance, fellas. No one saw that coming. That wasn't on the tape last year.
None of it's ever been on the tape. He was just really amped up, and I felt like he would kind of calm as the game went on. And in the fourth quarter, it was a lot better. But then it went back to that 95-mile-an-hour fastball when you can get by on 70, 75. I mean, I've had Highway Patrol tell me that before, and they were right.
You know what I can draw? Hopefully, just mechanics. Because standing in a pocket and
here and there.
Yeah, like that. Standing in a pocket is standing in a pocket. So if I'm seeing, like, even if he completes really well, but the mechanics are sloppy, that'll still make me nervous. So that's what I'm really looking for, that he's sound in the pocket, regardless of who we play. That's going to be a big thing that I'm keyed in on.
I've got something for Ian here, too, real quick. We saw Quinn Ewers' mechanics deteriorate over the 3 years in Austin, 2.5, 3 years of Austin. I know, Ian.
You're giving me softballs, huh?
I know. Are we a little bit hesitant to think that this won't happen again to the very next quarterback? Because, buddy, that changes a lot of narratives quickly.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I texted Ian the same thing. Like a day after the game, I was like, what's up with the quarterback mechanics? What's going on there? But likely need a lot more data points to see.
Yes, I'll give you that. This was a small sample size. I'll give you that. I'm just looking at the history of it. And I know both of you guys completely understand where I'm coming from. Do I think he can't get fixed? Yeah. It is clearly on A.J. Milwee. Now, Sark obviously has some influence, but this is what Milwee's paid to do. It's not just teach the offense, teach the concepts, the reads, things of that sort. It's the mechanics. And what we saw with Quinn was it was not degressing. It was a regressing over the 3 years. I think Quinn was a better quarterback mechanically before he got to Austin than when he left. And so do I think Arch won't get it fixed? Yes, because I think actually Arch has an infrastructure that's actually above Sark that won't allow his mechanics to deteriorate. That family will put on the tape and things will get fixed pretty quickly in that living room, I feel like. So I think this is actually kind of over Sark's head. But that was the one thing that crept in my mind after this game. We saw Ewers' mechanics get worse progressively over his course. Nothing against him. They got worse. We all acknowledge that. I just hope that's not the same thing with this 5-star quarterback either.
I don't know if Quinn's mechanics got worse.
I know they did.
They did not get better. They
didn't stay the same. If you didn't stay the same and you didn't get better, guess what you got? Worse.
My coach used to say that all the time.
It's true.
Justin, you got some sourcing on that that's solid, I'm sure, for people that knew him more in high school. I thought in high school he got up to all kinds of shenanigans, and he just got away with it. He threw so many back foot bombs in high school.
Towards the end, yes. As a sophomore, junior, as a sophomore and then early junior, no. But yeah, but it was just so much arm talent. He could get away with it. You would go watch him in passing sessions. You go watch him doing scale. You go watch all that stuff. I mean, the dude threw the ball about as naturally as I've ever seen, Ian. And I've got video clips I saved just so people can see what it looks like 5-6 years ago. He'd throw a 30-yard out. That was beautiful.
There's two things. Here.
The injury factor, too, is a big thing.
There is something wrong with his.
Can I get to my two things? Can I get to my two things without Connor just stealing all my thunder?
What did he say? because I'm interrupting. So what did he say?
I'll tell you because it's what I was going to say.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
One factor is that Quinn was injured all the time. He didn't want to get hit. And I think that probably hurt his mechanics. So, and that's not on Sark. That's not on Milwee. Like, the dude gets hurt all the time. He's protecting himself. What are you going to do, right? As a coach. Okay. Second factor. The throws where Arch was worst against Ohio State were the designer shot throws where Sark is like, look, I'm going to scheme a guy open.
Yeah.
You don't do anything but throw to this guy. And
2022 Bama.
You would think that would help their mechanics because it's like, look, just set yourself up to make this one throw. That's all you got to do. I swear it might make them worse. Like Arch on some of his misses, he looked like he was so amped up to make the throw he knew he was going to make.
Yeah.
When he made throws where he's like, so like the corner shot to Livingston in the back of the end zone, they wanted that to go to Wingo. Wingo was the first read. They created a rub on Wingo to get Wingo running wide open over the middle. Arch sees it. It's a little delayed. There's a safety that I think actually may have impacted the play. Maybe not if he throws a really well-timed ball. Arch is like, I'm not going to throw that. Resets, throws a perfect corner route to Livingston.
Beautiful.
It's just dropped or whatever. Or
yeah.
Interfered with, supposedly. I didn't even watch the replay of that. I think when Arch is just playing ball, he looks fine. When Sark is dialing up the just do this, I swear his rhythm is awful. Same thing with the bubble screen that he threw into the dirt and DeAndre Moore caught for a 5-yard loss. There's no way that read was awful. I don't think it was
right outside the red zone.
No, they're like
because that read was a good read, and they actually got into to the 10.
No. The third quarter drive is just a little bubble.
You're right. I got you.
I think Sark told him just throw the bubble. Don't even read it. Just throw it. And then he starts to do that, and he sees it, and it's not good, and he throws this garbage sidearm toss into the dirt. I think I don't know that these guys are not responding to Sark's designs. It's almost like we're extrapolating way too much from too little.
I agree.
But you wonder if he's babying them and spoon feeding them a little too much with the offensive design, and it's actually holding them back. Which sounds stupid because it's like if you just scheme them open, the open guy, and all they have to do is throw it. That's so easy. They should be able to do that. And Quinn, that's all. By the end, that was all Quinn could do. But I don't know. It's weird.
There's gamerness, right? Like in the week analysis of gamerness, I think there is some gamerness with gamerosity with Arch, and he needs to be able to move around and kind of like the whole shot, like the fade, those kind of things. I agree. When I watch other teams, they'll do a lot of these like short passing concepts that are just like not RPO.
Boom.
Yeah, just quick out, quick slant, and we just don't do a lot of this like give me stuff. If we do, it's like a screen. Or it's an RPO, but like if even watch like San Jose, but like anyone I watch, they have this quick game that's much more like active, and even if the guy's covering them behind them, they'll still throw it, and your receiver's supposed to catch it in the chest and do that. It's interesting. I see with Sark, it might be so rehearsed and so overarching that you
overarching.
Yeah, there we go. There's an article title for you.
Homer's on a roll this morning, man. He's got like 3 new words, and I like all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I do wonder about that sometimes too. We just need more data. But
on the other hand, I think that worked for Quinn. Like he didn't develop Quinn and other stuff, but when they tried to do other stuff with Quinn, it sucked. So like the designer one read stuff, where it's like, Quinn, this is where you're going to throw it. And then if that was right, Quinn threw some amazing throws. So maybe it's just a matter of adjusting to Arch. Because Sark's offense and what he calls for his quarterbacks does change quite a bit from quarterback to quarterback. So maybe he's still figuring out the best way to use Arch. I don't want to be held to any of the theories I've presented.
Same here, 1000%.
Spitballing out loud, and we'll see how things play out.
Yeah. Before we keep going, guys, let's hear a word from Academy. Some things just go better together. Burgers and fries, Friday nights in Texas football, and now Academy Sports and Outdoors and Whataburger. Your favorite new tailgate combo is coming in hot. Academy Sports and Outdoors is teaming up with Whataburger to fuel your pre- and post-game traditions. It's a match made in Texas. Score your limited edition gear at Academy. Get everything you need to host your own Friday night tailgate. Canopies, cornhole boards, jerseys, stadium seats, and more. Shop exclusive Academy and Whataburger gear while it lasts. Dig in now. I'll give you a heads up. Y'all need to move pretty quickly on that, all right? They're not playing around when they're saying limited time, okay? Make your moves, guys. Go to Academy. Get your gear. Okay, so knowing all that about Arch, what do we need to see Saturday? What will make you feel a little bit better, Ian?
Hit a shallow cross. That'd be great.
Cool.
Wingo, if we believe Chad Johnson, the right on the Arch interception, the reason it was an interception was that Wingo did not make the right route adjustment. Now, I've heard from fall camp that the one receiver that they really just trust to make good route adjustments is Livingston, and the rest, not so much. Okay? Wingo is an awesome weapon when you can use him on crossing routes where Wingo doesn't have to think a lot. It's like, you're going to run across the middle of the field. We're going to hit you on the run, and then you're going to be an amazing 210-pound athlete and go wreck people. Now you got to hit it, though. If we can do that and we can get him wide open and we can't hit that when he's 5 yards in front of you, I need to see Arch find the range on Wingo on crossing patterns. If they can't do that, they're gonna lose 3 or 4 games and miss the playoffs.
I agree.
Ian, try this one too.
Yeah.
How much better would it be if just early on Arch can get the ball out faster? You know, we watched a lot of college football this last weekend. And the thing I noticed against teams that could really blitz and that could really get pressure on the quarterback, these guys were getting the ball out fast. Carson Beck took 1.7 seconds to get rid of the ball against Notre Dame. It completely destroyed what Notre Dame could have done pressure-wise. I watched Bryce Underwood do it. I watched Lenore Sellers do it. I watched Josh Hoover do it well. I'm just wondering, I get the 3-step, 5-step, go through reads, progressions, maybe shorten a little bit, maybe quicker in, quicker out. That's a lot quicker than he doesn't have to think as much. Plus, you're not giving these pass rushers any chance to come get him. Will we understand any of this for the next 3 weeks? No. But when they go to Gainesville, I just have a feeling that's going to be important.
My suspicion is that a lot of that is that Texas was facing an NFL pass defense.
Yeah, I get
and
you.
All the guys you're mentioning are facing zone dropping college guys.
I got you. Notre Dame secondary is pretty salty too, but I'm with you. We
need to see that verified.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's our quick game is like a screen or an RPO. But if you just like watch anyone, it's just like all slot option routes, like just really easy kind of give me stuff that's not behind the line or is not an RPO. It's just it seems like we have these big shots. If we're intermediate, our intermediates take a while. It's either some type of PA rollout, hit the second read on a sail coming back, or some crosser. Quinn was incredible at that, but that crosser that takes forever to develop intermediate to the opposite side of the field. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of just like if you watch, there's a lot of and we tried it a little bit more. We attacked the seams more once we realized they just ended up in cover 3 every time for OSU. But you watch Bryce Underwood. I was watching Mateer. Both of them just here's the intermediate seam, and it's just drop seam. We don't do a ton of that.
Well, they have a gazillion quicks in the RPO game, and Ohio State set on him and said, "Run the ball, go ahead." So, That could have been there if Ohio State had been.
Yeah, but I'm talking larger narrative. I'm talking just like a couple years of Sark's offense. There's not a ton of just like, look, you're in the slot, quick in, quick out. There's no tag, there's no RPO. It's just the throw is the throw thing. But also you're saying too, like, do we want quick single reads with Arch? You're saying those are the ones that he seemed to get in his head the most about, so he can't.
I don't know.
So
those are also like high leverage downs.
Yeah.
They do also, counter to what you're saying, they do have some quicker hitting leak stuff to the tight end that they didn't even use that much against Ohio State, but that they can use with injuries. So how does he look in that? He threw a screen to injuries that was totally great, totally fine. I would like to see some option routes in the offense, but who's running them? I don't know if they have a guy that they love for that. Like injuries, maybe the best guy for that.
Yeah, injuries was a real bright spot on rewatch.
I don't know if Moore is a guy where you're like, we're going to give you an option and you're going to get open and we're going to trust you and Arch to be on the same page. I don't know if that's quite his speed.
Yeah. All right. We talked Arch for the 80th time this week. It's been fun.
What the people want.
Yeah, that's what the people want. So let's talk about a test for Grayson Littleton. So people are like, San Jose Spartans, what the hell are you guys talking about? A test for Grayson Littleton. So we saw what he did versus Smith. We saw what he did versus Ennis. Thought he looked great. But, Ohio State wasn't committed to the downfield passing attack. It was a lot of screens. So the Spartans are committed to the downfield passing attack. They're not like they're going to crush us, but what you want is a good, like, if you're training for a boxing match, you want to go a couple rounds with a good enough fighter. They can hit you, but they can't knock you out type of thing in sparring. And that's what you want here. They like to go a lot of 11 and 10 personnel, empty, 4 wide, really spaced out stuff, not a heavy team. And specifically, they have a receiver named Danny Squidero. He's in the slot, little guy. I think Ian listed. Yeah, he's 5'8", 175 pounds, but he's fast and he knows how to use his speed, meaning that if he's going to try to burn you deep, he's going to come off the line slow, get you to hang out, and then he's going to turn on the burner. So good speed adjustment, too, is how he catches people. But I think you have this, too. Yeah, he went for 15 targets, 9 catches, and 189 yards versus Central Michigan. He was all over the place. So that will be fun because he is a really fun player. He could be in Power 5 next year. And then they're going to throw it. Like they want to throw it. Ohio State was really disciplined about, like, if the coverage look is not right, then we'll do the right thing. They don't care about that because they're throwing to space. They're throwing to timing. They're not super concerned with your coverage. So that is going to be a fun factor. Just
to wrap up one other thing on the previous section, because somebody made a good comment, and I promise we won't ignore everything you just said. Our good guy, what's his current moniker? Sugarcane Daddy was like, what about Mosley? Mosley is the perfect guy for what you were talking about. We're like the slot receiver where it's like, we're just going to like scheme you into space and let you run an option route and get open. Mosley is perfect for that. He hasn't played in like a month or something because of whatever nagging injury that they don't want to talk about, which usually means it's something that's pretty debilitating, right?
Or easy to re-aggravate.
Whatever it is. He's barely played. He would have been the perfect solution for that, and he's not available. So,
and he hasn't been able, most importantly, if you have an option receiver, him and the quarterback have to get a ton of reps because they have to get psychic. They have to be able to read the leverage together, understand the breaks, understand the depth. And he hasn't been able to practice with Arch either. So it's like, that's a receiver you need a ton of reps with and like a mind meld. And he hasn't got to play. So
I wrote in the offseason, I was like, injuries and Mosley are the 2 perfect additions to develop a spread 3-step passing game that is just so difficult to deal with in the playoffs. And they've not been able to develop it because Mosley has not been. I was like, my only concern was Mosley and injuries don't come until the summer. and to develop the chemistry, you'd rather them have both been there in the spring. Well, not only did they not both arrive till summer, but Mosley has barely even practiced. So that's not good. Littleton, absolutely. You basically already summed it up. Like,
I got to quit doing that to you.
throw Littleton in there. I mean, you did a good job. It's fine. Throw Littleton in there. See if you can handle this little water bug. Actually, water bug is not quite right because, Paul said, Danny Amendola. I saw Jareth Stearns, where he's not just running endless option routes and crossers underneath like a Texas Tech white slot. He's like getting down the field like Jareth Stearns did for Houston Baptist in Western Kentucky. Or maybe like Jakeem Grant, Texas Tech. So Brandon Presley, Brandon Presley it doesn't matter. No one knows who these people are. I'd love to see Littleton cover him in man coverage a lot and see how that goes. If it goes bad, maybe you get help over them a little bit.
Here's the thing is like, look, if Scudero gets loose for a 40-yard touchdown, like I'm going to be like, fair enough. If he does it twice, I'm going to be like, all right, but like if it happens once, it wouldn't be that surprising to me because they're so aggressive, because they're so downfield focused, because Scudero does a great job of running a tempo at a short route that feels like the tempo he runs at the beginning of a deep route. So he gets these corners or nickels or whatever to go, okay, he's going to outbreak. It looks like an outbreak. It feels like an outbreak. And then he just double moves you and he's out of there. I mean, really good acceleration ability on him. So that's going to be a factor. And look, it's going to be fun for the secondary. It's going to be a stress test. And coach points out something really good here. Should get some interceptions this game. Eget is their quarterback, doesn't read the field well. He kind of just throws it, dude. And that's good and bad, right? Because if you're a really well-trained defense, you understand the offense and you're like, there's no way he's going to throw this because he's in double cover. And then he throws it and gets the completion, And so, but what he's really scary about, he did this at the beginning of Central Michigan. They'll go, these trips super wide to the field. The outside receiver is like touching the sideline and Eget will just turn and throw the out. I mean, it's a damn far throw, but his timing was bad. And there was a couple times CMU could have just bit down and got a pick six. I'm not surprised if Gilbo or Manny Muhammad gets a pick six on one of those field side outs, or they learn their lesson and quit trying to throw them. But that'll also be fun. I think it's a fun secondary game. You guys should enjoy it.
Or they show that and then they go the double move for Texas.
Yeah, which they can. But this will be fun for Littleton. This is what I want to see from Grayson.
Do you know who else would have been interesting to see in this game?
Who?
Wardell Mack.
Don't do that. You're so evil, dude.
Well, this is the perfect. He's already a redshirt freshman. They really like him. Eric just wrote. He's like, Littleton is so good, and they really like Wardell Mack down the line. So Littleton may be auditioning not just as the starting nickel, but also as like a cornerback of the future. Just make that move earlier than Gilbo and Barron did. And then Wardell Mack can take over. But for Mack to do that, he needs to have all his ducks in a row with his life. So
yeah. Well, also, man, if you're gonna do it during this just stretch of 3 games. You're like, oh damn, I have to sit the bench. But
that's the worst.
You want the reps versus the easy guys, right?
They don't want to play him against the good teams unless he's really good and ready. I mean, I guess they want him available in those games in case there's an injury and he's like next up. Also, one more guy. I believe Jonah Williams is practicing now.
Sure.
If they just kind of want to throw him in there, see how that looks. That'd be fun.
Just head on in, man.
Get his feet wet. See if he can get ready in time for some crazy exotic dime package for Oklahoma.
Well, I was going to say, so you go to nickel or dime here.
Oh yeah.
So you good lead in. I don't know if you realized you led yourself in, but you got a good lead in there.
I didn't.
So, like we said, they're really a pass focused team. They're called the spread and shred. That's the style of offense, and a lot of empty, a lot of receivers out there. So, what does that mean, Ian? Do you want to go nickel or do you want to go dime?
I think if the goal was to maximize your chances of beating San Jose State, you would play dime. And you're like, we're not giving you anything. No matter where you move Scudero, he's going to have a defensive back across from him and not a linebacker. And we're probably going to have safety help too, because we just got defensive backs everywhere. Texas's defensive line is so good, they could even play like a $317 in this game. Here's something, Connor. It's just occurred to me. Just lightning just struck my brain.
Beautiful.
Play the dime this week. Whole game. Show that, and it's like, oh, look, Texas has a dime package. Oklahoma studies that. Then you get to the Oklahoma game, $1. You drop a $317 on the Sooners.
Well, that O-line for OU is a nightmare.
They'll probably be better by the time we get to the shootout.
I told Paul this. We have a football time vacuum that doesn't exist anywhere else. Like if I was really bad at tennis and you said, well, and he's got 3 weeks to get good at tennis. It's like, that's not, but in football, we say that all the time. So it's like,
Bring Joe
know, man.
He wants to chime in. It sounds like Joe might want to chime in on this.
Joe, you want to get in here? We got Joe. We got the big dog. He's back. He's in the game. Justin's back too. The whole gang's here.
I had to do some City of Austin errands. So if you saw me running around downtown,
documents.
Yeah, I do think OU will be. There is usually a big week 1 to week 2 improvement though, where you clean stuff up. But
so go ahead.
Fasusi might start against Michigan, and he hasn't even played yet. Like they've really been cautious after his whatever ordeal with the Heat deal, that they haven't really explained exactly what happened. They just said, don't worry about it. And then he didn't play. I don't know. I think they'll be better. I don't know if they'll be good. I do know their tight ends are just big, slow receivers.
I do like the tailback, Trenton Blaylock.
Didn't he get injured?
Did he?
I think so.
He played well early, and that's a kid that I just remember from recruitment. Like that's Derek's son. That's a really fast, good athlete out of Houston. And I think he's got a little brother that Texas is recruiting as well. Torrey.
Someone was saying that he broke a collarbone, and then Oklahoma was like, "Oh, whoa! With shoulder injury, it may not be that bad. We're hopeful."
Well, the broken collarbone might be better than like a screwed up shoulder.
Isn't a collarbone like month? If you get one
maybe, but it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
Whereas a shoulder can be like, is it a labrum? Is it strained? Right. Is it torn?
But you're like
breaking your collarbone requires 8 pounds of pressure, but it will heal as quickly as it breaks.
I thought
so.
It
Ian
broke the collarbone and he misses through the shootout.
Just remember, Adrian Peterson broke his collarbone, and I don't think he missed a game.
Yeah, but that guy's different. Ian,
I get it.
This brings up, and I've asked you this on Inside Texas, and Homer, I'm actually curious on your thoughts as well. We saw a lot of base. We saw a lot of nickel. We saw a lot of 11. We saw a lot of 12. Do you think this is a game where they maybe mix it up a little bit more so you can see how maybe someone like Jonah is able to handle a boundary safety or a dime linebacker?
Yes, on boundary safety. The other thing I'm maybe holding in reserve till he practices more against Oklahoma. I can understand why they didn't use Niblett a lot against Ohio State. I don't know if that would have really helped or not. But San Jose State, I'm absolutely throwing out those dinky little 2 running back sets where it's like, who's doing what? Is Niblett running the screen to the sideline? He is. Yeah, he is. that stuff that never works against the best teams, but then you like catch a bad team and then nibble it is just like creasing them. I would absolutely expect to see that.
Homer, were you surprised? I want your perspective. Were you surprised that it was basically base and nickel, 11 and 12? What you see is what you get. Did you think that was there are 14 games, 15 games left decision, or it's like we're going to try to run what we know we're good at to beat a top 5 opponent?
Well, it was a lot of base because they were in a lot of 12. So it's like that made sense. They rotated a ton, man. And there was a fun one where Canoe was the only defensive lineman on the field. I guess that's our NASCAR. Ty Anthony was out there too. But yeah, I thought you didn't need to go much from base. We had the 3-down linemen. I thought our IDL was killing it. I didn't think there was any need to go creative. They also weren't throwing down the field that much, so you could stay in basic coverages. Talking to Jet Bush and Drew Kelson, we got a show coming out later today. They were both really shocked. They were like, wow, we kind of just manned up Ohio State a lot. They were like, we were not expecting that, and like no disguise pre-snap and stuff like that. So we just played them pretty straight up because there was no reason to go bells and whistles that often. Sane wasn't pushing the ball down the field, even though they have incredible receivers. They weren't, and it wasn't an emphasis there.
But I
and
think that was also by design, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but when we've been Ian's been talking, we're going to be more single high in general. But that was impressive. It was different than just staying too high all game, which you assume versus that caliber of receiving core. So, and when we were in base, we handled it. They tried to run, never really worked out for them. There just wasn't a reason to go deeper into the bag in that game defensively for me.
I get that. It's been like 5 years where running against base on Texas is just like, nope. Not going to work.
Going to happen. 12 personnel, bring it on. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
Nope.
We don't care.
They hit just a couple runs that really made that one touchdown drive they had.
Yeah,
it's really frustrating because they figured out they would put Jeremiah Smith in the boundary, and then they would motion him over to the field slot, and Texas would adjust and be like, okay, we're going to have a nickel on him and maybe some safety help over the top, and then they would have Jeremiah Smith like hesitate there and then go back outside to an outside receiver alignment. And then Texas would adjust again, make sure the safety gets back a little bit more. And then they would run into the vacated space inside. And they did that like 2 or 3 times in the same drive. And you could tell Texas wasn't quite making the adjustments fast enough to fill that spot. And they got like 2 or 3 really key runs that made their one drive they had the entire game. Mm-hmm. And then they either didn't go back to it or Texas was like, okay, we just got to be a little quicker with this and we'll be fine.
It was one thing that's interesting. You'll see how much they respected Simmons. Like you'll see on so counter, oftentimes the backside end will get unblocked traditionally. Nope. If you saw a tight end in 11 personnel or 12, the tight end was lined up to make sure that Simmons was blocked on the backside. On their play action passes, they would start the tight end on the opposite side of the core and motion him just to Simmons. So Simmons was getting a lot of attention. The more I went back and looked at it too, I thought that was interesting. We'll talk about that later on the Drew and Jet show. But no, I thought the defense looked solid. We'll dive more into it. I don't think they loved the edge play actually from us this week. Not that they couldn't get a sack. They don't care about that. But I don't think they love the physicality of the edges. So that's interesting. All that stuff, but that's more to come. Joe, you want me to lead you into an ad break and then disappear after it?
I was about to say, have we heard from our great legal sponsor yet?
No, we haven't. And his name is Andre the Lawyer, and I will play it right now. You guys have a great day. Peace.
This video is brought to you by Andre the Lawyer. If you're injured, trust the team that secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans with their injury case. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, and wrongful deaths. Don't let insurance tell you what your claim is worth. Hire Andre the Lawyer to fight for you. Principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait and call Andre the Lawyer today at 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. The contact information is in the description.
Good to see y'all. Glad to my wife changed up my little setup, so I've got Mac Brown.
I was about to say I don't recognize anywhere that you're at right now.
That's Mac Brown on a Wheaties box, courtesy of my mom. I think we ate the Wheaties last week. And that's George Springer right behind me. I'm always going to hang on to that one.
Wait. Wasn't Mac on the Wheaties box after the national championship?
Yeah, this is a 20-year-old Wheaties box that's framed.
You ate the 20-year-old.
I'm joking. No.
No. He's joking. He fed it to Polly. Him and Meg didn't eat it. That was Polly's breakfast. Because I mean, she needed her Wheaties. I mean, come on. He's building a strong young woman, young lady. So she got to eat her Wheaties.
Best if used by November 12th, 2006.
Ooh,
so
that's a short shelf life.
I mean, if this came out right after the Rose Bowl,
I would think if it's sealed, it would last a little bit longer, though.
It was sealed for a while. We had it in the freezer.
I still have the Coke cans, and I know for a fact there's no more carbonation in those cans. I still got the 6-pack.
And then this is a good one. Can't believe I threw that away. Here's the other thing. I'm looking at it right now. In fact, I may grab it in a second. I have a major Applewhite, Colt McCoy, Vince Young little poster I need to grab. But one of the things that I do is I'll go buy papers on big events. You have to. Like Prince dying, unfortunately, but
no, I didn't buy that.
you go get the newspaper with the headline that says champs. Like I have basically 3 copies of the Houston Chronicle saved, 2017, 2022, and then Roger Clemens' first start back. I think it was in 06, which was really weird because he was a Cy Young winner the year before.
I got to tell you about saving the papers from a man, Jay. After the Natty, I got 5 different cities papers that day I still have them. We're in LA, so you get the LA Times. Bill Plaschke had a thing right on the front page. The USA Today was sitting in front of our hotel room. That was number 2. You get off the flight, we flew into Houston. Houston got 2 papers, Houston Chronicle, Houston. I don't know if the Post was still there.
Post went around then.
Post went around then. I knew it had been a while for a little bit. But yeah, so I had the Houston Chronicle. Drive back into East Texas, get the Dallas Morning News. Then I had my ex's roommate went to Austin and picked up the Austin American Statesman. And I have like 5 or 6 different newspaper things from that entire day. It was I still have those, Jay. I'll put something together if you want to look at those at InsideTexas.com because it's kind of cool. I've got a crate in my storage room of old magazines, old newspapers. I still have the Nolan Ryan 7th no-hitter. The Nolan Ryan 300th win. Oh man, it's crazy.
If Justin forgets that, there's an old episode of Hoarders you can catch where they go through his house.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. Mine are organized. Mine are all put in crates in those big plastic things, and mine are worth money. Like the Hoarders, they say trash, buddy. This ain't trash.
So
I got my Dallas Mavericks one with Dirk when they won. The Cowboys, I've got the 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, each one of their newspaper from the Dallas Morning News. I'm a collector.
I think we figured out this will be a good thread on Inside Texas later today. But the George Springer, your future world, Naaman Roberts.
He's right. Still, I remember the first time I went to Joe's house like 10, 12 years ago, and that was the only thing on his wall. And I'm like, Joe, that's the only thing and it wasn't 2017 yet.
It was 2014, and they made the call. And
and I'm like, Joe, that's the only thing. Decorate your house. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't have to. I got that up there.
The other cool thing, and I'm never getting rid of this. This is the Houston skyline. Sorry about my spotlight. That's a Houston skyline from the 1980s. So like Chase Towers right there.
Where's the Summit?
Oh, Summit's not downtown.
I thought the Summit was close. Toyota Center's downtown.
Yeah,
right?
Esperson Building. You don't even see Bank of America Tower, which is the one with like the 3 triangles. Like that's not even built yet. Like this is, gosh, I got to look through this. We should get the memorabilia thread going up.
I should be better about that because we have a lot of fun stuff and people like to get nostalgic.
Anything else from the game? You want to start looking around the rest of the conference like we typically do on Thursday mornings?
Let's get around.
All right. I haven't gotten the email from the SEC quite yet, but I will go ahead and pull up the SEC site. San Jose State, Texas. I know y'all have talked about that one. Checking our friends at BetMGM, see if there's a line. Is there a number that y'all would touch on San Jose State and Texas? It looks like it's Texas 36.5.
I would take Texas in the points.
I don't bet, but I would tend to think that because of the there was the year that Michigan won the national championship, they were covering all the time, even though their offense wasn't very explosive. But it was because they would give up like 3 points a week.
Yeah, it'd be 38-3. It would be 38-3, and the spread's 35.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Texas might cover a lot this year for the same reason.
I think so too. I lived off of 1998 Kansas State. They hit the points every single time and I took the over. I did that for like 9 consecutive weeks. Michael Bishop was a cash machine.
There is a first
that team
half,
should have won the Natty too.
There is a first half line of Texas 21.5.
If San Jose State was capable, I would be hesitant, but I'm not.
Three scoring possessions. Actually, excuse me, 4 scoring possessions in 1 quarter is a lot. Or excuse me, in 1 half is a lot.
I like the overall. I mean, I like the numbers from the start to finish.
I could see Sark not having what he wants yet, and then hitting the gas pedal in the third quarter to get there.
I could see him handing the ball off like 8 or 9 times.
As I continue to search, Utah State at Texas A&M, so Aggies versus Aggies. Always love to see that. That would be – let me see if I can get some more info to pop up. I'm zoomed in. There we go. SEC Network this Saturday, 11:45 a.m. Is there anything to look for?
No, we're all watching Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can find the number on that one.
They have A&M has Notre Dame next week, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And so Notre Dame gets 2 weeks to prep.
Yeah. A&M kind of does too.
Notre Dame has
in a sense.
Who does Notre Dame? I think Notre Dame
Nobody.
has.
I think they're off.
They're bye.
Yeah, they have 2 weeks to prepare for A&M.
That's crazy.
And actually, I think CJ Carr is going to be a pretty good quarterback.
I'm taking my son to his first ever Texas game this week.
Dude, that is so cool. That is so cool, Ian.
Arch better throw some bombs.
Oh, God.
It is.
I'll take in some intermediate stuff.
It's A&M minus 31.5.
Sure.
I probably wouldn't mess with that because didn't UTSA wind up screwing up that line?
Yeah, but that UTSA did kind of exactly what we thought they would. Put up some points, maybe not with Owen McCown like we anticipated. But
No, it was Robert Henry. I think he went
Right.
for 200 yards.
Yeah, they ran the ball on
Really
A&M,
well.
but they weren't going to stop A&M.
No, you're right.
And one of those is a 75-yard run, but those count the same as the.
He had a couple like that.
Yeah.
This is a
And
look
I got
at
to tell you, both times the safeties were awful on reading those plays.
Ian?
this is a look ahead game for A&M. So
Yeah.
Those
we're
can
not
be
gonna-
tricky. Those can be tricky.
As long as Marcel Reed makes it out okay, everything's going to be
Hey.
fine for them getting into South Bend.
And they finally have some semblance of a passing game. I think Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion are going to be big upgrades.
East Tennessee State University in Tennessee. Name a number for the Vols, right?
Vols looked
Joey
good.
Aguilar looked pretty good, dude.
Yeah, he looked good. I have something on him for the
They won that trade.
today. Americaswargame.substack.com. I have some Aguilar thoughts today coming up.
Yeah, they won that trade.
I think
Yeah.
BetMGM doesn't put anything with a FCS opponent on the board, but if you can find something, take the over. Tennessee will score, and score some more. Border War, Kansas and Missouri. This one I'm actually pretty excited to
I am
check.
too. I think this is going to be a good game, fellas. When Jalen Daniels is healthy, Kansas is a tough battle. Semi-tough.
Ian, anything on this one? I
No.
think it's low scoring.
Really?
I thought Missouri was kind of potent.
They're doing the whole 2 quarterback thing.
I thought
Or
one of
one
them,
got hurt actually.
yeah. They got
But-
Bo Pribula, right? Isn't it just
Yeah, but he didn't look fantastic against not fantastic competition.
I'm telling you guys, Kansas is competing. Kansas, when Jalen Daniels is there, Kansas has a chance, a decent chance.
What year is this for him? This feels like
6. But
Feels
that's
like
what
6.
most, I mean, once you get your quarterback in the 6th, 7th, 8th year, once they turn 30, like you really start to see the production.
The one thing about this one is it's in Columbia. Missouri is a 6.5 point favorite. You know what? I'd take the Jayhawks, and I'd probably take them straight up.
I had to watch Kansas the last 2 weekends. I thought they looked pretty good. I like Hishaw. I like the running back Hishaw. You know how I feel about Daniels, and I think the defense is competent. I think it'll be a good game. Like Joe said, hey, this is a game to look forward to. I'm glad they brought this back.
SEC play does start this week. Ole Miss at Kentucky. Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite. This is a game that screwed up Ole Miss's playoff chances last year, right? I think Lane Kiffin is going to remember that. And I think we start to see Kentucky, who didn't have a very good game last week, if I remember right, start to crumble.
Yep. That sounds reasonable.
I mean, it's going to come down to Jared Lorenzen.
Who?
I mean, Zach Calzada.
I hope Ian did not say that.
Isn't that huge dude that they used to have?
The late
320
Jared
pound
Lorenzen.
left-handed quarterback. If you ever want to have fun, go Google his YouTube highlights for 5 minutes. It will remind you of such a good time in the world of college football. He was a gamer.
Yeah, he did pass away, unfortunately. So the thing with Kentucky is they are still in quarterback hell. Cutter Boley, the quarterback who played and was a gamer last year, I think, for the Wildcats against Texas. Not that he did a whole lot, but he tried and he played with a lot of effort.
If they would have started with
Texas
him,
team that
it would have been a better outcome.
But that Texas team was really, really sloppy. He got beat by Zach Calzada, and he went the incarnate word thing, trying to be Cam Ward, trying to be Bailey Zappi. Was he on that path? And he was 10 of 23 for 85 yards and an interception against Toledo. And if you're an SEC team and you're playing the best MAC team, it shouldn't look like 24-16. It shouldn't look like 3.7 yards per attempt. Ole Miss may shut him out. It may be bad.
I could see that.
The one thing is, do you know who Kentucky's leading rusher was, or actually second leading rusher from that game? I mentioned him earlier in the preseason.
Nope.
Seth McGowan.
Oh, the former Mesquite Poteet tailback from OU.
How's he doing?
And I give Seth McGowan a lot of credit. He paid his debt to society. He worked his way up from a JUCO program to go to New Mexico State, and he's making the most of an opportunity at Kentucky. So and he seemed very remorseful about everything he had done in his career. And so I'm one of those guys I'm rooting for, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Austin P at Georgia.
Has he repented of his sin of going to Oklahoma?
We'll see. I don't think this should be on national television, and it's not. Luckily, it's on streaming, so going to be fun to see how that works.
Yeah.
USF at Florida. This game, based off USF beating a Boise State team that didn't have Ashton Genty, Justin, I think may look a little bit better than we thought before the season, but this is one I think Florida should probably get in the 30s on.
I'm with you. Like I watched that game, and your first thought is, man, losing Genty was big. Boise State actually moved the ball in the first half. It just got away from him in the second half. But South Florida was very opportunistic. You saw some of that old Jim Leavitt style, athleticism on both sides of the ball. To me, I think it'll be a decent little test for Florida. I think Florida's obviously going to be, overmatch them, but look, don't sleep on those teams in South Florida, man. Like they've got athletes, they've got dudes, and you let them linger in the game long enough, and you may have a game there. But I still like Florida too much. I think Florida's going to be really good this year.
We remember
they just have that schedule.
We remember who South Florida's defensive coordinator is, correct?
Yeah, Todd Orlando.
I didn't know that. No wonder they gave up those 3rd and 17s. No wonder. Whew. Now it makes sense.
This is just one of those, do your job. Yeah. You don't have to win. I mean, the spread's Florida 17.5. It could be a 17-point game. And if Lagway gets out healthy and they run the ball and don't let that veer and shoot offense and Brian Brown get going, I think this one should be fine. Going to be a lot better test than Long Island University was, that's for sure. Arkansas State at Arkansas. This one is actually in Little Rock. This is the first time these teams have played, I think, in ever, because Arkansas tries to be like, we're Arkansas, whatever, on all the other teams, Arkansas State, UAPB.
Yeah.
Can't remember who else. This is just a you better not lose this game for Sam Pittman, because if you lose in Little Rock, because that's a weird segment of Arkansas fans, against a team that you literally never play by choice, you might as well just get the buyout check and hand it over on Sunday.
I agree. I don't know what to expect from Arkansas this year, besides Taylor Green returning.
They could just make Petrino the interim anytime they wanted, right? So
would they actually do that?
Why not?
I can think of a couple reasons.
I remember the funniest thing was because they fired Petrino for cause, they had to literally get the president of the university to sign off on him being offensive coordinator. I think Arkansas State's going to make this competitive. It's a 23.5-point line in favor of the Hogs. I might think about taking the Red Wolves.
Who do they have again?
I don't know Arkansas State well enough. I do know back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, they would come play Texas in non-conference early in the season, at least a couple times. One year they had a safety. They went in the second round of the Minnesota Vikings. Like they had some capable guys. I just have no idea what they're looking like now.
I liked Arkansas's portal additions this last offseason. So I trend towards the Hogs.
Yeah.
I feel like they put together
Arkansas
a team that makes sense.
Did Ian up or is that me? Oh,
that's
Arkansas State does have a pretty good quarterback, Jalen Raynor. Jalen Raynor is Arkansas State's quarterback. That's someone to keep an eye on. It's Butch Jones also. You remember that name? He's the head coach at Arkansas State.
Oh, yeah.
Big McDonald's
This may be a
guy.
shootout, but I think Arkansas State.
This is the guy that didn't know what to do with Al.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a big McDonald's guy.
Well, he didn't know what to do with a lot of things. South Carolina State at South Carolina State at South Carolina. HBCU, good HBCU, I think. I think they played in the Celebration Bowl. Shouldn't be much of a battle for the Gamecocks.
Dylan Stewart ought to have his helmet taken away by the third quarter, all things considered.
I wish they would have played that game in Blacksburg, but oh well. You can only get so much from college football's opening weekend. Arizona State, Mississippi State. National TV game in Starkville. Ian, you're keyed in on this one because of the whole Jeff Lebby of it all, the Kenny Dillingham of it all. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like this one. Mississippi State, how did their week one go? Do you know?
They beat Southern Miss on the road.
What's the score?
I can tell you in a second, but the fact that they took care of business against Southern Miss, 34-17. So, hey, a win's a win. You didn't lose to your in-state rival.
I like that. That feels solid. Arizona State won pretty easily, but the score was not that impressive against some directional Arizona school I didn't know existed before I saw the box score. This is like basically the real season opener for both teams, right?
Yeah.
In a sense.
I'm not sure that Mississippi State will be bad. I think they might be good this year, relatively speaking for them. And Arizona State looks like they should be loaded. So I'm very curious. To me, this game is like a proving ground. And I'm kind of after this game, I'll have much stronger impressions.
An early season litmus test.
Blake Shapen was 26 of 33 for 272 yards, a touchdown, and an interception against Southern Miss. And that's a Southern Miss team that was bad last year, but they imported most of Marshall's good players when their head coach came over. The only thing is that, they ran the ball okay. If you take away a couple quarterback runs, they put up about 160 against Southern Miss. And that's kind of weird for that offense. This will be a really good test. And I think this will really say, who the favorite is in the Big 12. But more importantly for Texas, I think this will determine how difficult one of their road games will be this year. Because if Arizona State can go in there, it should be decent sailing for Texas.
I think the line is like 6.5, maybe 7. Yeah, either obviously the dogs are the home home underdogs, but I was watching something last night where there were a few guys on SEC Network where were kind of playing with that line. They thought, it'd be interesting, but I've got Arizona State winning the Big 12, and Jordan Tyson already is looking like wide receiver 1 in the 2025 or 6 NFL draft.
Yep,
I think with Texas,
and I got to tell you, him not playing last year against Texas, buddy, it would have been a different Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Texas fans, I think one of the good things that they do is there's an appreciation for Clemson. There's an appreciation for Arizona State. Even before this upcoming game, there was an appreciation for Ohio State just because they had seen them. And I think it doesn't mean they're rooting for them, but I think they understand it's a Big 12 team. It's still pretty good. Ian, you have the floor. Michigan at Oklahoma, 6:30 on ABC this Saturday.
This is a really exciting one. I have leaned Oklahoma all offseason. Bryce Underwood on the road against Brent Venables defense is that's tough. He looked surprisingly sharp in week 1. Surprisingly sharp. He knew where to go with the ball. He had great placement on all the stuff that they drew up for him. Oklahoma, week 1, not very good. Worse than maybe you would have thought. Couldn't push Illinois State around. Not physical in the run game. You know that in this game, they'll just say Mateer does whatever he has to do to win. This is going to be the first game where they're like, if Mateer has to run or throw the ball 50 or 60 times, that's what we're going to do. I don't think anybody else, I don't think the run game is going to help Michigan. Mateer, I think he has to help himself. Michigan, we're going to try to run the ball, and we hope Underwood can help the run game. It kind of looks like Underwood might be able to help the run game. And so this game is looking much more plausible for Michigan to me than it did a few weeks ago.
Ian, Justice Haynes is really good. I don't remember in recruiting, Texas offered him and kind of pursued for a while. Justice Haynes, I know it was against New Mexico, but that works everywhere, whatever he does. I think Justice Haynes, and they want to run the ball. I mean, it's Michigan for crying out loud. They want to run the ball. And you're talking about a school that runs the Big Ten. Michigan is the cream of the crop in the Big Ten. Everyone else is like lower. And so I like Michigan here on the road just because they run the Big Ten. They own pretty much every school in that conference. I think with Justice Haynes there now, oh, man, they didn't have that running back last year. They thought it was Donovan Edwards. It was not. I mean, they had no run game whatsoever last year when they thumped Ohio State on the road with no run game whatsoever. It was fascinating. And so I like Michigan here, but I think OU, like you said, Ian, they'll be better from week 1 to week 2.
I also think Oklahoma's edges and outside linebackers are like, I don't know if they're ready for this Michigan fullback coming at an angle and smacking them in the mouth. Max Bradison. They are like, R. Mason Thomas loves to get upfield. The other defensive ends, I just don't know if they're physical enough on the edge for what is coming their way in this game.
You know who they should have on that edge, Ian? The starting edge at Arizona State, all-conference Big 12, Clayton Smith.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They screwed that one up pretty bad. So happy to see my boy in Tempe getting that stuff done. And Josh, I got to tell you, Michigan is above Ohio State. It's been almost 2,500 days since Ohio State's even touched Michigan. Until they can win that game, Michigan runs that conference.
La Tech and LSU. Anything to see for our guy Sonny Cumbie, or is this going to go the way as we all anticipate it?
Make sure you don't have a letdown game, LSU.
If they're wearing purple,
we're not going to have a letdown game here.
LSU fans are very superstitious about their jerseys, and I know they've thrown more alternates in, but they're like them wearing purple against in-state schools. It's a weird thing. Same thing, no letdown game. Hugh Freeze, Auburn, Ball State. Ball State's not good. This should be a cupcake. Should be a cakewalk. Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt. I think this is the last one.
Do we know the line there?
I can tell you in just a second.
I was just going to say, because I thought Virginia Tech actually held up pretty well against South Carolina. Like they were in the backfield with Sellers a lot. They forced him to do a lot of stuff. And then of course, Vandy, as long as they have the Aztec Warrior, they're relevant. And then the Austinite Cedric Alexander had a great game. I think that right there could be ripe.
Virginia Tech is a 1-point favorite, and I think that's at home.
And that's at home, which means Vandy's actually favored. That's going to be a good one.
Early season Pavia is not going to let that team lose.
Yeah, not happening. He still has he's still trying to backtrack for 4 years of JUCO eligibility. There's a good chance we see this kid playing college ball for the next 3 or 4 years.
His body can hang up or hold up for it.
Dude, he's going to be in WWE when he retires, Joe. You should know as better as anybody. Diego's about that.
Last game, ULM at Alabama. This isn't 2007, is it?
It could be.
No, they'll get this one. But
no, they have to. After what happened last week, they have to. But just a reminder, Nick Saban lost to ULM in his first year at home. But we didn't have Twitter. So there wasn't all this clamoring for buyout and this is the wrong guy and he couldn't do it in the NFL. Why do we think he could do it at Alabama? Nick Saban didn't have to live through any of that crap of social media. So now I think it's just so much different. But you're going to see a much more streamlined offense. Jam Miller's back. Their starting running back is finally back for Alabama. Just lean on the run game. Don't be silly. Ty Simpson's going to take time to get into that rhythm. But, man, they'll get them. But just don't forget, that happened before. And if it happened again, social media would freak out over the next 24 hours because there would be literally people lined up outside of Paul Feinbaum's studio ready to contribute to a buyout of Kalen DeBoer.
It is a concerning result how they lost to Florida State, but I'm not raising the 5-alarm system, whatever it is, quite yet. They got to show me that I shouldn't turn that on. And I think we can also admit that, there's a step back from Nick Saban. Of course, there's going to be. I don't think that step back quite yet is as horrendous as it's been talked about so far.
It's
But also
bad.
understand, Joe, I think a
Bad.
lot of the angst came from the lack of effort. It wasn't that they got overpowered.
Right.
It wasn't that they got kind of bullied at the line of scrimmage, which I can't remember a time Alabama's ever in the last 20 years that's happened. But it was just the lack of effort on defense. There was some major loafing that I never realized until a rewatch. And you're thinking, wow, like people were upset because of that. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I tripped the alarm and I'm just waiting on the curb for the firemen to put out the fire. I've abandoned the house. I've taken everything out that I have to have. That thing's coming down.
Does Dan Lanning take it?
Why would he?
You flipped the switch that quickly?
They were garbage, Joe.
Like the effort thing really, that's I think what
They-
upset the Alabama fans. It wasn't so
the
much getting beat
whole-
by a good team. It was the it was the loafing, the obvious
whole-
loafing.
I'll tell you why they were loafing. The whole freaking offseason, it was like, okay, last year, dual threat quarterbacks in the shotgun gave us issues. So this year we need to make sure we're a little better at that. We're rethinking our strategy. We're going to be better at that. They go out first week against a dual threat quarterback in the gun and they get trucked. They are helpless.
Athlete turn quarterback.
I was
Their
about to say, I don't
safety-
even know if that's a dual threat. That's
He's
a
not a
single
quarterback.
threat
He's an athlete turn quarterback that Gus Malzahn found like 3 years ago in high school.
Early play in the game, power read, running back lead blocks, trucks Bray Hubbard, their safety. A couple plays later, zone read bluff. Tight end comes around, pancakes Bray Hubbard on the perimeter after the front screws up their fit. Rest of the game, Hubbard, business decisions.
Yeah.
Business decisions the rest of the game. Their whole secondary and are just like, I hope I don't have to make a tackle here.
There's no Landon Collins back there.
They're all bracing for impact. They know the front is going to screw it up and make them look bad. They're running garbage stuff up front. There's no discipline. There's all these stories leaking out now that the program is just like inmates running the asylum. It's all over, Joe. It's all over.
Oh my gosh. I'm just surprised you flipped that quickly. But that if you
They
did,
were-
that means
Sucked. They had
Yeah.
one thing. You fix this thing. And they went out and did the dumbest crap. And they did it poorly, and their players gave up on the field in week 1.
Yeah.
is there 65 million to get rid of him?
I don't know.
They have, man, that's all they're talking about
I know.
in the
And I
last
saw
couple of days.
I saw Andy Staples mention something. It's like, it's just a line item. It's like, yes, but like, even so, like, if it's payable out for the next 6 years, but like, the whole point of hiring a head coach is so you pay one at a time and not
Not
two.
two at a time.
Yeah. And if honestly, like, if you get told that 8-4 there is not good enough, which I think I feel like that's valid, especially with how much money goes into that, legit money, with how much support goes into that program. Like, yeah, you should be better than 9-3 and 8-4.
It wasn't like the recruiting fell off, Joe. They signed top 5, top 10 classes too.
Yeah.
They knew Ty Simpson was a question mark. They did nothing about that in the offseason. I know a couple of people sort of close to that team, couple current players. They knew Simpson was problem 6 months ago, 9 months ago. So that to me, with Kalen DeBoer being such a good quarterback coach, or usually having great quarterback play, that really surprised me. Maybe Michael Penix was his thing with Belichick and Brady, because without that transfer, he probably doesn't even get put in the position to get this job.
Yeah.
And also AJ McCarron blasting the NIL, saying all these other schools are spending 40 and 50 million a year, which none are. And he's like, Alabama, I know for a fact, only has 20 million in NIL. Buddy, AJ, get off there.
Yeah. That's
Simpson, not great, but they were playing from behind the entire game. he may be bad, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Lenora Sellers is on the schedule. Auburn is on the schedule. Diego Pavia is coming back to take another scalp from them.
Yeah.
He's going to do an Aztec sacrifice of DeBoer.
Aztec warrior.
They got the house is burning down.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. I know they're going to do the next big thing that they do, and that's, we got the 5-star true freshman. So we'll see how that goes. We'll be talking about SEC football. We'll be talking about Texas Longhorns football all over Inside Texas. We got a game. We got to talk about San Jose State. We'll have all the insight over on Inside Texas. Go to that first link in our description. Join for just $1. You get access to a full year of The Athletic. No better time to sign up. Going to be a fun 3 games. I'm glad it's an early game. Ian, I hope your boy enjoys his first game. Justin, last quick thing. What you got?
Hey, I am so impressed with our viewers today. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day, but thank you so much for not taking one bit of troll bait from a guy that still has a bedwetting problem with Michigan in November. And so I'm just so proud of our viewership. You guys are champions. Nothing but love.
Exactly. Thank you all for watching. Homer, thank you for pinch hitting for a little bit. Justin, Ian, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time on IT Live, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.